What's going on, everyone? Welcome into another episode of the GC Show. Y'all saw the title of the video today. It's about getting comfortable in the uncomfortable. And what does that look like for us? Let's get right into it. In this world, humans, we all strive to be comfortable because that's where we feel safe. Comfortable bubble with people that we trust that'll, that we can do anything, still feel comfortable and not embarrassed or anything. We all strive to have that comfort zone. But in life, you're going to have to step out of that comfort zone to do things that you want to do or do things that you need to do. So, stepping out of your comfort zone, fear is a big factor of that, and fear of what other people think of us, like what we do and say. Stepping out of our comfort zone is hard for about 99.9% of the people in this world. But once you step out of that comfort zone, it becomes really, it opens you up to a whole new realm of things, and it becomes really easy. So we have a fear of what others think of us, what we're doing is wrong. We can get embarrassed and stuff. So, how can we step out of that comfort zone and feel confident? Going into new situations by yourself is hard, very intimidating. How can we overcome that fear? Well, in 2 Timothy 1:7, God tells us that that God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power, love, and self-control. So, what does that mean? That when we God, we shouldn't be scared because we have God with us, and He has made our spirit, of power, love, and self-control. So we shouldn't be scared because fear is a liar. Fear is from the devil. So fear will tell us oh, don't do that. Others care about what you think. Don't do that. You're going to get judged for that. But we can't listen to that fear. We have to know that God is with us when we do things. And how are you ever going to do anything in life if you just sit in your comfortable bubble with your people that you're comfortable with, and those that you can do anything around, and they won't judge you or anything? You're never going to get anywhere, because we're all at some point in our life going to have a job interview, and that's very uncomfortable. For all my fellas gonna have to talk to a female someday, that's gonna be pretty uncomfortable. But the more you do it, even if it's just in a friendly manner, the more you do it, the more you're gonna get comfortable, and it's just gonna flow off and be more smooth, easier. And with stepping out of your comfort zone, sometimes you have to take risks, take chances, take a gamble. I'm not saying actually go gambling, but it's not going to be easy when you step out of your comfort zone, but sometimes you have to do things that are going to be really uncomfortable, that can help you open up a whole more opportunities to do things by stepping out of your comfort zone. It's something that everyone's going to have to do in their life at some point. So the earlier you step out of your comfort zone and learn how to do that, it's going to become so much easier later in life. And for you, maybe it's starting little conversations or whatever. Oh my gosh, excuse me. That can just start with complimenting someone. Be like, hey man, I like your shirt. It looks good on you. Hey man, I like your shirt. It matches the flag that's sitting behind you. That's an amazing baseball team. Good franchise. Not really good right now. That's not the point. But or maybe telling someone good morning, out in public, you're out there walking, hey man, good morning, how you doing? Oh, good. Like you acknowledging someone else, for them, it can be oh man, dude, that guy acknowledged me, he cares about me. So stepping out of your comfort zone and talking to strangers and stuff can not just benefit you, but can benefit other people as well, and that's huge. And you know we should always be trying to lift others up, not break others down, because this world is so full of hate and judgment. But if we can do things that can benefit us and other people, that's huge, and it's very different, and it's very good, and it's what Jesus would want us to do. He wants us to love everyone. So maybe for you it's public speaking. So finding ways to public speak can be hard. For me, I'm not good at public speaking, and I guess it's like podcast show things like a form of public speaking. That's kind of like why I'm doing it. And for me, I know that like the more I do it, I'm gonna get more comfortable and better at it. It's just gonna be like more smooth for me. But obviously, when I'm like starting off, it's not gonna be like that great or whatever. But if I don't step out of my comfort zone at all and don't start, I never know where God could take it. So, you got to step out of that comfort zone at some point because there's opportunities sitting there. But if you listen to that fear in your mind and, let that control you and be stuck in your comfort zone, you could miss those opportunities in your life. It's just like if you're standing next to a pool of water, it's like a cold pool of water, and you like look at that water, it's like, it's cold, man. Like, I don't want to jump in. Like, I'm going to be freezing cold. But the second you jump into that water, like, you heat up over a matter of time, and like you start to play in the water, play in the pool, and you start to forget that the water's even cold, that the water's even there. Like, you're so used to it, you're like, man, why didn't I jump into the water earlier? That's the same thing with stepping out of your comfort zone. It's like, it's so scary when you start, but once you take that first leap, like, it's so big and can go such a long way. And that's how you get those opportunities, by stepping out of your comfort zone. And once you step out of that comfort zone and you become comfortable in the uncomfortable, it's like the uncomfortable will just kind of start to fade away. It's like you won't have that uncomfortable zone anymore. It's like the more you do things, the more you take those little steps. For me, I like to think about getting 1% better every day. The more I can just like do things that help me to step out of my comfort zone, can help you like get so much better in the uncomfortable zone. Just like it's gone, like it disappears. So for me, like the more, like my way of doing that is recording more and more like episodes, getting 1% better. And if you get 1% better every day, that's 365% better at the end of the year. So just doing little things to get better and better can go such a long way for you. So, and like maybe for you, stepping out of your comfort zone, it's like the fear of rejection. Jesus was rejected on this earth, and while he was on this earth, and people in our world still reject him today. And something that I like to think is like, um, I try to think like, what would Jesus do in certain situations? And if Jesus in this world was rejected and hated and even crucified for like his teachings, why should I care what other people think about me because of the things that I do? Because there's probably a good chance I'm not going to get crucified for doing this little podcast show thing. Well, hopefully it's 100% that I don't get crucified for that, but yeah, if I ever die for God's glory, I mean, I'll take it, man. Dying for God's glory is better than anything. Um, going back to the first episode, like people care less than what you think they do. So like people, like if you're scared of like rejection, people don't care as much as what you think they do. So, maybe going back to that's like you need to start that thing, whatever. That's your way of stepping out of your comfort zone. Like if you take that first step, like step 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 will just follow. It'll become easy. So, like don't let other people's opinions get of your way of like stepping out of your comfort zone and like doing things that are uncomfortable. And Joshua 1:9, one of my favorite verses, God's telling Joshua, he says, "Have I not commanded you? Be strong, be courageous, do not be terrified, do not be discouraged, for the Lord your God will be with you wherever you go." You know, God is with you always, and like when you're stepping out of your comfort zone, he's with you too. He's with you in those good times, the bad times, those hard times. He's with you all the time. So, like stepping out of your comfort zone, like God will be with you through that. And that kind of connects back to 2 Timothy 1:7. Like those two verses kind of connect. Like God does not give us a spirit of fear. Like he gives us like the opposite, like confidence. We should have confidence when we do things knowing that God is with us. And like we know that with God all things are possible. So be confident that God is on your side when you're doing things, when you're stepping out into an uncomfortable zone. And like do things that can bring glory to his name. And things like that could be just finding ways to help others, and go back to that, like talking to someone out in public and acknowledging them could be huge for someone else, and that's what Jesus would do. So what's holding you back from stepping out of your comfort zone, whatever that may be? you know whatever it is, just know that God is bigger than that. God is greater than all your ups and downs. And just know that, greater is the one living inside of me than he who is living in the world. Talking about the Spirit of God. Mercy Me, amazing band. Like God is with you all the time, and that fear doesn't come from God. He gives us that spirit of power and self-control. And we need to be strong and courageous when we do things in life and by stepping out of our comfort zone, because if we never step out of our comfort zone, we can miss those opportunities, and you're going to have to do it at some point. So the earlier you do it and the more you just like kind of build on it, the easier it'll be down the road. So like that's kind of the lesson for today. For you guys this week, I want you to find ways that you can step out of your comfort zone and like do things that you're not normally comfortable doing, and just find ways to like maybe start that and kind of build on that and get more and more, and look back in like, I don't know, a month, 2 months, 3 months, a year, whatever it may be. Look back and be like, that doesn't even scare me anymore. Like if it's for you, like starting little conversations, and you start tomorrow or start today. um, like if you start today and you look back in a year, like you'll have no trouble like starting conversations, because it'll just become habit, and you'll become so smooth at it and have so many different tactics at like what you do, that you'll be comfortable in that uncomfortable. And so when more of those opportunities roll around, like you won't have to be scared of that anymore. You won't have to be nervous. Like you can be confident, and you can find that comfort in the uncomfortable zone, but you have to step out of that comfort zone to get into that uncomfortable zone and get comfortable in there. That was a lot of comfortable, uncomfortable. Hopefully that made sense. But find ways to step out of your comfort zone and get comfortable in the uncomfortable. That's the lesson for today. I hope y'all have a great week and find ways to get comfortable in the uncomfortable. I'll see y'all next week.